things you want me to tell, any topics you want me to talk about. I'm not sure if I'm going to have anybody join in. I'm just kind of, I'm going off vibes right now. I want everyone to join in and see what stories get told. I know it's Friday night. We're getting closer to Halloween. I know everybody getting a little spooked out. We're gonna get spooky tonight. But let me know if there's a topic or story that you want to hear. I will be talking. If you haven't seen it, it's a documentary on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, it's called Blood and Myth. I'll be talking about that a little bit. There were some things in there that I loved. I really enjoyed. It's basically about LP. I never seen. I think it's kind of crazy to me that it's basically a documentary about a guy who LP told him to do these things. So, but we'll be talking about that tonight. I may tell some LP stories. It's nighttime, so I'll be a little edgy now, a little scared, but in a good way. We're telling them old stories, and some new ones, and some ones from the podcast. I try to go through my notes from time to time and try to keep it fresh. But let me know where you guys are from when y'all jumping in and out of the chat. I want to know where y'all are from. Oklahoma people. A lot of my stories are from Oklahoma. But I guess I'll introduce myself. Yahola Tiger. My name is Yahola Tiger. I'm the host of the War Cry podcast. I am originally from Northeast Oklahoma. I'm Cherokee, Muskogee Creek. Let's see here. What else? What else y'all want to know about me? Born and raised Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Shout out Blackfeet. Man, y'all got some creepy stories out there. I know Blackfeet. One thing I'll say this about Blackfeet. I won't speak on their behalf. But there's a guy named Rod. He's from Lodge Tales podcast. He's Blackfeet. He talks about Goat Man. And that's not something you hear a lot here in Oklahoma. They say it's maybe a liquor medicine or a whiskey medicine. So, the Goat Man is seen all around them. You know what's crazy? Danny McBride's my cousin for real. Mr. Pickles. He's my cousin for real. That's a hidden lore about me. Like I don't really I really don't like sharing it, to be honest with you. Because when you have someone in your family that's so famous, it just draws a lot of unnecessary attention. But yeah, that's my cousin. But yeah, Blackfeet got Goat Man. No, I'm just kidding, Mr. Pickles. I'm messing. When my hair's like this, I get Danny McBride all the time. I need to get it cut. I know. I was walking down the street and someone said, "Can I take a picture with you? You look like an Indian Mr. Pickles, Jesus, an Indian Danny McBride." I said, "I know. Can't help it." Debo, appreciate the Bat Boy Tater. Debo, appreciate the drinks. He sent me some cocktails. We all love a good cocktail. That's crazy, the way I said that. But yeah, Blackfeet, they got Goat Man out there. I don't want to tell any of Rod's stories. He has a podcast, Lodge Tales podcast. Go follow that. But man, some of those stories when he was on, I was like, what? But like, here's another thing too, though. There's stories here in Oklahoma that other tribes are like, dang, for real? So it is what it is. But let me know where y'all from at in the chat. I know we got people coming in and out. I feel like it's going to be a busy night, y'all. We're going until my phone dies. Oh, Dana says, I heard your stories on Lost Tales. Well, I'm glad I hope you liked them. I hope they was all right. Sometimes, man, going on other people's podcasts, I don't know if I clam up or I just don't be free-flowing like I am here now. I'll be letting it go. I just be like, empty the clip on everybody. Just go crazy on y'all. Dang. But let me know where you're from in the chat. So, one thing I like doing in my lives, I collect stories from all over the place here in Oklahoma. So if you name a place, any place, Dreamer's Delight, I hope you're doing all right. Debo, like I said, appreciate the gifts and all that good stuff. But if you name a place, I might have a story for you. That's kind of my game. Someone said Texas, and I whipped out a Texas story out of my head. I was like, oh, I got one right here. Let me just pull it out real quick. You just never know what I got. Sometimes I don't be remembering stuff either. Cuddy Supreme says, man, have you checked out the Witch's Grave in Skytook? I haven't been, but I heard it's crazy. I have not. So one thing about me, my ghost hunting days, my paranormal hunting days are over. Cooked. Absolutely cooked. Because, number one, I've told this story. Something went crazy on us at Merle Home Park in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Went crazy on us. So that's why I don't really do a lot of investigation. Last investigation that I went on was with Spirit Talkers, and we were out at, it was either Hominy, which is on Osage Res, or if it was Pawnee, on the Pawnee Res, Pawnee College. And we had some crazy weird stuff happening there. Let's see here. After that, I've checked out your podcast too. I enjoy listening to yours. Well, I appreciate it. And I hope I'm getting your name right. Is it Dana? I hope I'm getting that right. Sometimes my reading skills, about 4th grade level, I'm dumb like that. Any about limestone? I don't think I got any out of limestone. I'll tell you that. If you give me what's around limestone, maybe give me a more broader area. Okay, Dana. Okay, I'm glad I got it right. I know Yehola growing up, I got to a point where I just stopped. Yeah, whatever. I had someone call me Yolanda. I was like, Yolanda? God bless. I was like, dang, do I look like a Yolanda? I've had Yahula. Wowoka, okay. Let's see here. Wowoka. Now, so I did get a story, and I can't remember if this is out of Wowoka or Wetumpka. I can't remember. Those names, those are so very close. I had a young lady tell me a story about a guy who, in that town, thought he was a shapeshifter. And I guess I'll go ahead and tell this because I've had another person ask about Wowoka. I've also had some people someone message me out of Wowoka talking about there's a hyena cryptid out there. Hyena looking thing out there. But this woman, Muskogee Creek, she was telling me that her and her friends when they were younger used to swim out in this creek out by Wowoka. And I don't know the name of the creek. I didn't ask, but they was out there swimming, and they're, in the water, and also one of the friends kind of looked scared when she looked up at her getting out the water out of this kind of hill where the, kind of up a little bit. And she's like, what's going on? And she looked, and there was a old man standing there, old Indian guy standing there. And they all kind of looked at it, and he looked at them, and he kind of just smirked and nodded, and, they always thought it was real creepy. So they jet out of there. They get on out of there. So where they had to come out, so they had to basically come back, like they had to go up the way, a certain way, and then they had to come back down the road right in front of this guy where he would have been. And all of a sudden, when they were walking past that old man, when he was kind of in the brush, a dog walked out. And that dog had this smile on his face, had this kind of look on their face. Yeah. Creepy like that. That's out of Wowoka or Wetumpka, one of those two. I know that there's two close to each other. Do you have anything about black-eyed kids? So black-eyed kids, I don't know what those things are. I don't know what they're about. I think one thing too, I think they started out as a creepypasta, but people started seeing them. And I haven't really heard much about it. I mean, I've heard about Men in Black. I mean, I have one story about Men in Black. But hey, Jessica, hope you're doing all right. You was asking me. I said, hey, I had to deliver. I was thinking about you the other day when you asked me if I was going live. I've been sick basically all week. I'm just now getting my voice back. My throat is still a little sore, but we're gonna let it rip. I used to live in Hader House in Lawton. It's a crazy story. Hey, Cuddy Supreme, message me that story. I'd like to know it. I won't maybe not tell it. I get permission from people before I tell their stories, but I like to hear it. I've seen some spooky it in Indianola. Well, let me know. Send me some stories. I'd like to hear them. Where is that? Is that Southeast Oklahoma, Dylan? Pelagrosia said, "Where at?" Dang. Pelagrosia sent me a. If I'm saying that right, Pelagrosa sent me. I love you so much. Well, I appreciate it. That's good. Tell a story about Kanawha Cemetery. I don't think I got one about Kanawha. I have to go back and look. Like I said, I get so many stories from people. I have a hard time. If you direct message me your story, and now if you tell it in the comments, I may catch it. And if I react to it, then I've read it once. But my comments are so crazy. I don't even. There's so many of those that I want to get to, and eventually I will. But it's just so much. So if you really want to tell me a story, send me a DM. And we'll get back and forth. I've had so many people do that. And some really great stories, especially all over Oklahoma. And I appreciate them. Louis says, I'm here. What I miss? You ain't missed nothing. Just told a story. If y'all see there, Louis, he is the host of the Silent Watchers. He just had an episode over Los Alamos, if I can say it, Jesus. Basically an underground base. That's basically it. Great episode. I was saying that about you too. I believe it. Some crazy stories I heard around. Well, Woka that's one of those creek towns, man. Those old school tribal towns. So Louis got so if you was asking about Jessica about Black Eyed Kids, Louis is gonna have an episode about that. Pale skin, Pelagrosia. If I'm saying that right, I'm Pelagrosa. They're about a pale skin with black eyed creatures like human creatures. Yeah. So yeah. But my thing is about Black Eyed Kids is I don't have a frame of reference. I've never had an elder tell me about. Now, it could be something like a witch, but I don't have a frame of reference in my what people have told me. But I'm open to learning for sure. And they beg. Oh, so yeah. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you something that's close to that. Now, this is from. I don't want to say her full name. I'll call her Miss Rodriguez. She's from the Wind River Reservation, and she was telling me on my podcast about these clowns that show up on her res. And if y'all want to hear those stories, y'all got to hit that like button. Y'all got to hit it till y'all get arthritis, because I'll tell those stories. She told me a few of them, and she shared on my podcast. And great stories, excellent. Some of the best stories I've heard came from that. South of Eufaula. Yes, sir. By Crowder, south of Eufaula, north. Okay. So, yeah, man. That's one thing too. I'm usually pretty good about if it's northeast Oklahoma, I can kind of guess where it's at. But we get all over the country or all over the state of Oklahoma. E says, "Can we be telling these stories right now?" Yes, we're going to. I'm gonna try my best to not scare y'all so much, but I'm gonna scare you. But that's all right. If you don't like clowns, you better mute your Put the headphones on. What are the kid? What do my millennial parents do? Put the headphones on their kids. Okay, I'll call you Patty. E, thank you for the follow. Chaos, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing all right. Starburst said I have arthritis for real. Hey, so you know what? I'm not a doctor, but I am diagnosing you to keep getting arthritis, hitting those likes. Trent Davis, the clown, yes, that was driving a car. That story had me. So when like I said, if we get to 10K likes on this, I'll tell that story. E says I'm Southern native, Arizona guys. Arizona does have stories. They do have stories. Man, Arizona is one of the creepiest states. I haven't ever been. My dad lived there for a short time when he was a young guy, and he was telling me that natives out there, y'all got stuff that we can't hear, we don't understand, we can't comprehend. Chaos just got out of work. Hey, I'm glad you could catch me while I'm on. I'm glad that you could hop into chat. Starburst said I'm waiting to hear about the clowns. 10K, Starburst. That's what I'm saying. You better start hitting them. You start hit the screen with them toes. That's crazy. And New Mexico too, Patty. You're 1,000% right. New Mexico too. Just the four corners, man. Y'all got so much stuff. The first ever here in America was recorded by the Utes out in the four corners of UFOs. First ever. That's the first recorded ever sighting. Now, were there before? Probably. They've been seeing them and they've been coming down and seeing us for years, but oh man, y'all got the chat rolling tonight. Y'all talking about some crazy. Y'all trying to get somebody out here knocking on my door. Damage my poor thumbs. Hey, like I said, start using them toes. Don't be getting nasty. I caught myself mid-laugh, y'all. Don't be getting nasty now. Don't be tapping the screen. There was one guy one time, he said he tapped the screen with his, you know what I mean? So don't be that guy. Don't do that. Not for me anyways. Not for me. Please don't. Chaos said they have superstitious mountains and a lot of stories coming out of there. Yep. Four corners, man. They like I said, I have people have told me stories there, and maybe I might tell one. Who know? You never know. I always try to give people credit though. If I can't remember their name, I always try to be respectful if I can't remember, because like I said, I have so many people sending me dang stories all the time. Try to be respectful. Try to get to everybody too. I'm not stuck up. I'm not one of them stink Indians who, and I said stink, not stick Indians. I said stink Indians who just, I'm too good for them. I don't. It's just because I haven't got to you. I try to answer all my DMs. If you send me a DM about your story, I always try to, read your story best I can. I got little ones running around. I got running around doing other things, and so I try to be as, if you send me a message, I try to get back with you. That's just how I operate. Man, this thing is rolling tonight. Minoki native, we have some stories. Yeah, no, we do. Here in Oklahoma, we got some stories. E says women with hooves, men walking around with skin falling off. Don't even start with the women with hooves, man. Y'all got goat men out there too. I've been told about that. Can you share the name of that movie on Hulu you recommended to watch? Yes, it's called Blood and Myth. Blood and Myth. It's about and I know it's Inuit, but they call themselves something different. I want to be respectful of that. But those natives out there in Alaska, off the coast, other side of the coast, they have these things running around there, and I guess how the story goes. And I don't want to ruin it for everybody. I'm just trying to give y'all an overview. But a guy shot two men and his mother was mysteriously killed in their home. And he was saying LP made his mind, you know. Starburst, thank you for sharing the live. Concho, Floss Lake, Conowa Lake, down by Idabel, there's a lot of. Yep. And you know what, man? I know that I'm going to say this, and no disrespect to my Choctaw people out there, but y'all don't have the creepiest places. Y'all say y'all do. I get it. Y'all got Hanobia or Hanabi, however you want to say it. I know y'all got that place, but up in the Northeast we have lakes that are creepy. We have rivers that are creepy. We got middle of our cities got tunnels. Tulsa's got tunnels that got demon stuff in them. I'm telling y'all, Northeast Oklahoma is more creepy than Southeast Oklahoma. We can battle about that. But let's just keep it 100 though. I'm gonna keep it absolutely 100 with everybody in this chat right now. Oklahoma is underrated in creepiness. Every single city, every single ounce, every single acre, every single blade of grass, somebody has seen something on it. I'm going to say that about Oklahoma. Shout out. I love it. Trent Davis, hey man, you got to start tapping the screen with whatever you can, you know what I mean? Idabel too. I've heard things about Idabel. I haven't heard any stories out of Idabel. Joan says, how's it going, bro? I'm good. I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing good. It's another creepy Friday night. LP from Concho with the green eyes. That's crazy. I haven't heard that. That's Shine Arapaho people. Keylar says, I'm watching it now. You got to. Man, that Blood and Myth. So the guy who's going around doing the interviews, man, that guy's life sounds like a lot how my life kind of was. You know, you just blowing and going, and you get lost in this world. Like there's parts of me that regret trying to strive to live in this world. Now not so much. You know, I stand up and I don't just allow, but I often feel a lot of regret because. Not regret. That's not the word. I'm saddened. You know, I was trying to get my degree, trying to get a job. You know, working for government, man. It's like you're 1 foot Indian, 1 foot white man, and that's how I felt a lot. You know, I always felt that I could never get it right, and. You know, I met my wife, have my girls, my daughters, and my life is different. It's a lot different than how it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and that's a lot of that documentary too with Blood and Myth on Hulu. Is you know every Native person has went through that path. Either you choose this way, which is living right, trying to be a productive member of your community, trying to collect as much information from your elders as you can, or you go down this one, and that's drugs, alcohol. You know, I lost my cousin when I was 19, and that really changed me a lot. You know, I still have a lot of anger and grief about that, but you know, going down that path, it's not something that, you know, we as Native people. And I think, and this is one thing, part of that documentary, I don't want to ruin it. So if you want to just, you know, mute me real quick. But one thing that I really loved about it is that LP showed up in that Teddy Smith's life and told him, say, hey, if you go this way, it's like trying to guide him towards them. Hey, we'll show you. And LP does that. There's good LP out there that do that. You know, and it's amazing to me to hear Alaska natives talking about that, you know, and it's crazy. It's just because here in Oklahoma we hear a lot of bad stuff. Like I've been told before that, you know, LP will give you so much knowledge about the world that it's overwhelming and you go crazy. It's just too much. It's too much for the human mind. So, Blood and Myth on Hulu. Cannot recommend it. No, it's a 5 out of 5 for me. Go watch it. There are stories I heard from elders from my res that I can't repeat. Yeah. I mean, there's stories, like there's a couple snake stories I can't talk about. I may eventually tell them when some elders go on, because a lot of stuff, these young kids, these Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they'll never know what I know. They'll never know. I'll never know what my dad knew. I'll never know what my grandpa knew. And like a lot of natives, we protect our information because, this is something that drives me crazy. I don't want to get on a rant with y'all. We're going to have a good night. I'm telling y'all. But I see a lot of non-natives trying to take our information, and they're taking it from natives. I caught someone, I'm not going to give the person's name out. I'm not going to do that. But I caught them using my information that I have been saying on my podcast and using it for their own, and without really giving any credit. And I had to say something. I'm not a person. I'm very confrontational. I will meet you halfway, but what I will never do is punch down on people, and what I'll never do is try to openly embarrass someone because maybe they didn't know. Maybe he just was using my stuff as a frame of reference. I don't know. I don't know the guy or the podcast, but I saw that, and that really bothered me. I can't. So I had to say something. But like I said, I don't like being that guy. So I just, real cordial, just trying to say, hey, just want to let you know I have personal experience with this. There's a lot of people out here that have experienced it. This is real to us. This isn't a local legend or a myth this is real to me. I take this very seriously. And yes, I do talk about it publicly, but I also want people, because I've had people reach out to me saying, oh man, I'm glad you said that. Or I'm glad that, man, I haven't heard that story in a long time. My grandmother told me that story. And I'm just like, I don't know. I always say I don't know because I just don't get it. But maybe it's not for me to understand. Maybe it's not for me. Talix said, what part of Oklahoma are you from? Are you in? I'm in Northeast Oklahoma. Born and raised, Cherokee Reservation. I'm currently residing in the Tulsa area. So if you see me at Walmart, don't be saying nothing. Let me live in peace. I live in Norman, grew up. This is at Sakawa. It's crazy stuff. Without regrets said, I'm an Okie. What's up, Without Regrets? I love your name. No regrets. Comanches out there too. Yep. Trent Davis said, we missed you, bro. Are you saying, did you miss me, man? I appreciate it. Patty, you going crazy right now with the you got it going. You got the chat going. Skoden Traveler said, what's on Hulu? Blood and Myth. It's a Native American documentary talking about Alaska Natives and their true crime with LP. No, yeah, Pat. No, and that's one thing too that's like I always kind of I had it's crazy. I just bought 2 recliners from a guy. He works at a big retail place here in Tulsa area. He looked at me, he said kind of looked at me like we were talking, he's trying to sell me something. I said he said, where are you from? I said, oh, I'm from here, born and raised Oklahoma. He said, you don't sound like anybody I ever heard before. I had to kind of laugh at myself. I said, well, we sound a little bit different in Northeast Oklahoma. There's a little bit of country, a little bit of kind of slang, And he's like, I thought you was from North Carolina. I said, no, not North Carolina. I said, I'm from Northeast Oklahoma. He said, you Cherokee, huh? I said, yep. I said, I'm in Muskogee Creek too. And we just kind of chopped it up, bought 2 recliners off him. He didn't upsell me now. He was Choctaw Chickasaw. He didn't do that to me. He's straight up. I wish I could give his name, but he was a real cool dude. But he goes, yeah, man, my last name's Hamilton. And, kind of give me some name. And I said, well, I said, it's not. I said, you still Indian to me, brother? I think he might have been feeling kind of down about that. I just said, you still Indian to me? I always try to do that for people. And when we were leaving, I said, "All right, man." I said, "All right, brother, stay Indian. Don't forget that." He kind of laughed real hard. He kind of just nodded. Here in big city life, we kind of get lost in the shuffle. We just kind of get moved to the side a little bit. And when I worked in government, I felt that way a little bit. When I had ideas to maybe engage the Muskogee Creek community, that's my people too. I'm Cherokee enrolled, but I'm Muskogee Creek. My name is Muskogee, and so I just had to tell him that. I had to just tell him flat out. I said, "Man, you still Indian to me. Don't worry about that." I said, "Your name is your name," and he's kind of lessened up a little bit. I think he was real thinking I was going to judge him or something. I don't know. It's Blood and Myth is the name of that movie that I was talking about earlier. I appreciate people following me and hopping in the chat. We're just kind of vibing out. We're almost at 10K. I'll tell y'all some clown stories that were told to me from Wind River Reservation. We get to 10K. Appreciate y'all following me. Lakota from South Dakota, happy to be here. Starburst, appreciate you. Yep, me too. I'm happy to be here too. Tahlequah got stories too. Born and raised. Shoot, I was telling a story. It was so funny, man. I always laugh to myself. I'm always people always asking stories, or I was blessed enough to have a dad who asked me questions and made me think about the stories. Grandpa, no, he said you need to listen, but my dad asked me questions. Maybe it's the different generations, but it's cool. I'm glad that I hope when you guys listen to me yap, you're like, yeah, this guy's good. He's a good one. Meme said, hello, fellow Native Okie here. Salute. Hope you're doing all right. Grew up running the halls of Shina Arapaho in Concho, but Muskogee enrolled. Yep. That's how it is, man. I'm cousins with everybody. If you go to any one of my posts, one of my cousins is saying something in there, and we finding out we cousins. It's just how it is. Ken, yep. JJ says, dang, I'd be forgetting to get my stories sent to y'all. I have some good ones. Yeah, JJ, send me them. Shoot me a DM and, let's let it roll. Pigman Sprinkle says, keeping it native. Yep. I said, yeah, I told the dude, I said, stay native, man. Keep it going. Keep staying native. Just because you're around a bunch of non-natives and you feel like you ain't in the mix, just be yourself. No, it's Trent Davis, man. I appreciate you. I know your finger's half dead hitting that like button. It's cool though. It's cool. But yeah, once we get to 10K, we gonna okay, we at 10K. Dang. All right, my bad. Yeah, JJ, I just told. You got some from Wowoka. Well, send me a DM, and I like to hear it. All right, Trent, it's for you. It's Mr. Trent Davis. It's for you. This story's for you since you got us to 10K by yourself. Just put the team on your back. So this story was told to me from Miss Rodriguez. She runs a Facebook group called the Original Ghost Stories from the Res. It's real big, got like 100,000 people in it. And she's from Wind River Reservation. She was telling me on my podcast that in their res, they see clowns. She doesn't really know what they are, but they see them. And she got a story from a gentleman. Dang, I'm sorry. John Sandoval said, I'll send you my doctor bill for arthritis. Hey, good thing I got that HSA. I got you. I'll get you reimbursed. We had to sign up for HSA. All these dang kids were getting sick. But anyways, so she was told this by, I think it was a police officer out that way. And basically that one night they had pulled a very old looking car. It was real nice though, kind of old school car. They pulled it over one night, and they got to the driver, and I want to say the driver had kids, like or the driver was a clown basically. But it was just crazy, a clown driving a car. But then he looked in the back seat, and there's all these kids back there. So he was like, man, this something's off about this. Something's not right. So they're like, hey, let me call this in. You know, dispatch comes back and says, I don't know. I don't think that's right. And all of a sudden they come to find out that I guess those kids had died like a week before or something crazy. And that clown, they call it suicide clown. Self-unaliving clown, I guess is what the PC version. But I guess that clown, when it sees someone or picks someone, that person does that to themselves. And when they called it in, it said all of them, those kids they just passed away recently. And that police officer got in that car and got out of there because I don't think it was real. It wasn't what he was seeing. She goes on to tell another story about this clown. One night she was walking in the house and she kind of heard something kind of like circus music, carnival music. It was real weird sounding. And she was like, what is a carnival doing? She started looking around. All of a sudden she sees this clown at the playground. And it was dancing, doing all types of crazy stuff. And it had the music rolling in the background. And she realized that when she stared at it, she could feel herself getting mesmerized looking at it. Like she wanted to go to it. And luckily her mother was with her, and she kind of yanked her out of it. And so they went in the house. But they could hear carnival music outside. But at that res, Wind River res, they I guess they see it. They see them clowns, which is crazy. It's super. That's really scary to me. But let me know what y'all think about that story. Both of them stories. Rayla, appreciate the follow. Rayla said that's terrifying. Yeah, it is. No, I'm not. It's it. The movie It in the '90s got me. I'm good. But yeah, that clown, man, I got goosebumps telling that. I'm getting kind of scared. No, I'm just kidding. Meme said, I have some crazy paranormal stories myself. I don't tell them often because people really don't care. Well, memes, I care, and you can tell them to me. Skinden, thank you for the 17 roses. Appreciate that. Starbird, hey, like I said, guys, share your stories with me. I believe you. I've had people send me stories. I'll tell a story out of Enid here in a minute about a lady saw a UFO and had some crazy stuff happening to her. And she literally said, no one in my family believes me. But this is just her. I hate doing that. I hate promoting my stuff. I hate that. But she had heard my podcast and had heard other people's stories and how I try to be respectful. And, she shared it. And it's a great story. And it's really, something that I think some people do experience. Skidden says they have some scary entities up north. Killer clowns from outer space traumatized me as a kid. I have never seen that movie. I think I watched a scene of it. Nothing too crazy. JJ said I was never scared of clowns before, but when you add music and all, yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, they are. Dr. Tongue says you made me want to turn on some more lights. I got the football game going in the background, so I'm not so kind of light. Makes me feel a little light, you know. Meme said I was almost possessed when I was 17 because the demonic portal was in my room, followed me for years. You know what? I actually had a relative of mine had a portal open up in their closet, and they don't even know how it started. Dang, Trent Davis, lock your blanket doors. But yeah, it's just like I said, my podcast is, I speak a lot for natives or for especially, I speak for me. But I talk to a lot of non-natives who see native things because and that's one thing that I was talking to someone, people say, oh, well, we see these things too. It's like, yeah, because wherever we go, they're there. They're always going to be there. They're always going to be around us. These things that go bump in the night, they know where we're at and they follow us. Clowns are almost as scary as banjo music in Arkansas. Dang. You know what's crazy? When I went to Eureka Springs, I've told this story a million times, but there's a lot of new people, and I always like to reshare stuff so y'all are on the same page. But I was in Eureka Springs, and they said the bus driver, she told me and my wife, don't go on the purple route, I believe, at night, or like you're getting closer to night. She said you'll see people crossing the roads going up into the mountains. I was like, yeah. Yeah. Mr. Pickles, yep. Yep. Because they don't realize. I always have to tell people, I've had non-natives reach out and say, well, I think LP are bothering me. I said, then leave them alone. I said, they were here, they were here well before we were. Because before the five civilized, which is civilized, basically forced assimilation, before it got real bad out west. Out west got it really bad with the boarding schools and I think all of it's terrible. But, there were tribes here that are still here. They were still here and they had them. They've been seeing them for thousands of years. Been helping them with their medicine gathering, helping them navigate difficult terrain. And that's another thing in that Hulu documentary is that he gets help from, navigating this difficult terrain by somebody. He traveled like 40 miles. It's crazy. Miss Patty says, I've heard a story about one at a stomp dance. KB Okie Mom says, hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing all right. Send me some stories, Okie Mom. Shoot me a DM and send me those stories. I'd like to hear them. I know you said you got a few of them. Let's see here. That's what the story, if the borrowers, was taught to us in school. Yep, Dr. Tongue, it's a Hulu doc. Appreciate you, Okie Mom. Appreciate that. But yeah, what's one thing that I love, about, like I said, I try to not, like I said, I don't like being stink. I'm not a stink person, but I always try to learn from people, learn different ways. And, I talk to non-natives, and a lot of times, especially in the cryptid community, they kind of lump us all together. Oh, well, I was told by some Indian, this is how they talk now. Well, I was told by some Indians that this is what they do. This is what Bigfoot does. And I always got to say, well, what tribe did you talk to? What part of the reservation were you in? Those types of ways. But, I always want to make sure we get it right. We just don't lump everybody together. Know anything about the burial sites uncovered in the flood in 2019? Where at? There's so many floods nowadays, Jessica. But yeah, I just shared a story today that I think about probably every day almost. Skinned in, thank you once again. Appreciate you. I don't know, Jessica, the flood on the burial site. Skinned in sent the goat. Appreciate you. Salute. But I'm trying to think if I heard anything about that. Now this is one thing too. My cousin told me this about. This is not related to Fort Gibson. This is related to Eufaula Lake. He was telling me that some of those Army Corps of Engineer guys saw the tie snake out there during when the water was real high. Yeah, I'll check it out. But they saw a tie snake, and they said that basically he had kind of not a bell. It was like an old school dragon, is what they said. They said, "Dang, it looked like a dragon." And I wonder sometimes that's maybe what people be seeing. The red-headed giants. Now I know Kiowa. They went up against them back in the day. back in their legends, back in their stories. I enjoy your tie snake stories. I appreciate it. You know, those I have a working conspiracy, and I call them the old ones. And I'm currently in the process of writing a book. I'm through my first draft. I got to add some details and be more, theatrical about it. But I talk in my book. It's about an old one, an ancient one. And I think a lot of these ancient ones, the tie snake, we got, the giants. And I know people always want to say Nephilim. And that may be so. I'm not well versed in the Nephilim. I'm not really in the Christian space. I believe that there is a creator, and that's just not my thing. But the Nephilim thing is interesting to me because the flood story is told by everybody. Every ancient civilization has talked about floods. And I just find it real interesting. Maybe one day we'll know. I don't know. Red-headed giants, tell me more. I just know that I know that Kiowa's got into it with them, or Plains tribes to be more broad, but I know Kiowa's talked about meeting red-headed giants. Cannibal, I believe. That's kind of what my knowledge is on that. I got Kiowa family that maybe I need to start asking questions about that. Okimon said, I think they were here post-flood. I think they found drawing bones of giants, so there's history. And the Smithsonian has actively been covering up a lot of these bones. That's a well-known fact. There is a article back in like the 1900s talking about them throwing bones into the ocean. It's crazy. Bigfoot that was seen behind Lucky Star Casino. Yeah, Patty, I had an interview with a witness to it, and then I've done a few live streams talking about it. If you guys ever want to go back and listen to old live streams, especially about here on TikTok, they're on YouTube. So go subscribe on YouTube, and you can catch those. I'm in the process of getting a new phone. My phone is completely out of storage. It's like to the point where my phone is like getting too old, so it's just not holding data and not holding information in the phone. So I'm like, I gotta upgrade. I gotta get a bigger gig. There's only so much I want to pay on the cloud. But yeah, Lucky Star Casino. They said that Men in Black came to see them after that Bigfoot was seen. JJ says, I saw Bigfoot or something that stood up in front of my car. It was big as I said it looked. Dang. Let's see here. I learned about a lot of stuff. It's special. Yeah, I'm weird, man. I'm the same way, memes. I do a lot of reading. My wife gets mad at me because she'll be talking and I'm over here reading. I'm like deep into it. And I'm not really weird in the reading. I got to be interested in it. But that's my life, is just trying to learn stuff. Skindon says, yeah, everybody shares flood stories. That's true. All white, and my friends said, oh, so this Bigfoot was all white. Dang. Either way, it was scary, and it had me in some sort of trance. That's one thing too that I think a lot of people don't really talk about Bigfoot, but I do. Is that they got a way. There's certain ones that have a way to make you forget. They make you forget what you're seeing. Like you said, a trance, and then they kind of go off. Never trust the Smithsonian. They destroy evidence. Yep, facts. Yeah, man, that's one thing too, is how much history's gone. I just had a conversation with somebody in the comments of a random video about Alexandria. I can't tell you how many times that they burnt libraries. Imagine the stuff we could have learned now. It's just frustrating. It's so frustrating. But I appreciate everyone who is coming in, and if you're coming in and out. Yeah, memes. Lucky Star Casino, man. I got a lot of information on that Bigfoot video. I've talked about 8 people who have can either confirm someone they know has told them, yes, it's there. But I've had one person come out and say, no, it's fake. So it's interesting to me. Happened north of Awoka, almost Cromwell. Michael B. Jordan showed up at El Reno the other day. Dang! What was he doing out there? That's crazy. Michael B. Jordan out in El Reno. Yep. Just like reading. I just random articles. I always like to appear to people that I'm dumb. Like I got the way I talk, trying to be all, but I have a college degree, and I know how to cite sources and find things that people can't. Sometimes reading through educational journals, man, it's just be rough. Some of that crap, man, is like the driest of dry. Skindon, thank you so much. Appreciate the chili and the goats. The 9 goats and the 10 chilies. I guess I'm spicy. Tommy Gunn says, I saw a gray Bigfoot in 2013. That was the color of white-tailed deer, but long and shaggy. Dang. Where'd you see that at? What area? I'll lock it away in my knowledge here, right up here. And if you have a story and you're too afraid to talk about it in the comments, send me a DM. I'd like to hear it. So I guess while we're getting to 20,000 K for our next story, what story would you guys like to hear at 20K? Let me know. For our next story, what story would you guys like to hear at 20K? Let me know. Let me know. We will vote on it. Let's see. Seen a lot of weird stuff in my life. Tommy Gunn says. Okie Mom's got the connects on the information. Jay just said we thought it was a mud puddle in the road, but Moonlight. MFer stood up. Dang. Me too. I'm a debater. My dad said I would argue with a fence post if it would agree. Yeah. See. Here's one thing about me as a person who, there's a certain level of care that I have. I have about I can probably tell you in my chamber I got about 9 cares. We can go if someone wants to argue about something, I'm gonna just start asking questions because that's when that I'm just all right, where are you trying to go with this? Because I don't even sometimes people just come on the comments to argue, and sometimes it's fun, but other times it can be kind of daunting. Gib till I die. Appreciate you sharing the live. Skinned it again, man. Appreciate you. If you guys want to join the club, my fan club, you hit the heart me up there, wherever it's at somewhere, and heart me. Appreciate it. Oh, no. No, did I miss it? I missed it. I'm disgusted by myself. I missed the hat. The mustache. Oh, man, I'm mad about that. I love getting the hat, mustache. Oh, there it is. That's funny. It's people that think that you don't know wants to argue the point. I just laugh. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I posted my OU takes. But also, too, guys, hit that screen and then put in the chat what story y'all want to hear next. What topic of story you want to hear next. But I had an OU take that had some OU fans. I didn't know men wore panties, but they had them in a bunch. Tall man. Ooh, I ain't heard. Oh, I have never talked about the tall man. I don't know if I can. I'm going to think about that. I have heard some about the tall man. LP. I can tell a bunch of LP stories. Man, tall man. I have not heard that in years. I'm gonna have to. Think about that. I know my family used to have a picture of him. Tall man is basically like a tall man, but he's like the size of a sequoia tree. And like a lot of times, people will mistake his legs for a tree until And they also say that if you see him, you can't talk about him for like 5 years or something. Like there's some type of thing with that. You can't talk about him, or you'll have something bad happen to you. And that's a lot of with like LP or with tie snake. That's another one that you can't talk about when you see it. LP. So we got 2 votes for LP, 1 vote, maybe 2 votes for Tall Man. Which Tall Man may have to move to the side a little bit. My grandpa he wrote a book that has all these stories of these old Muskogee Creek elders and their stories. And I know there's a few Tall Man stories in there. I haven't heard that in years. Thank you, Trent Davis, for mentioning that. Tommy Gunn said he saw Civil War ghost early one foggy morning on one of his runs. Dang. Man, Tall Man because man, there's so many parts of that I need to ask around about it. I don't want to start talking about it and get it wrong. Does Tall Man wear a hat in your area too? I gotta ask. I don't want to say yes or no, but I believe so, because my family caught a picture. They were on I can't remember what hill they were, but it was back when you had the old flip phones, and they saw somebody moving in the trees, like taller than the trees, and they snapped a picture, and it's literally you can see the head and shoulders and arms of a man in the trees. Man, I wish. No, it's like a man. But he's got legs that look like trees. But Muskogee Creeks talk about that. I think so. Yeah, like I said, I haven't heard that in years, man. I'm going to have to ask about that. I'm going to ask around about that. Or if you know some things, let me know. Shoot me a DM and maybe we can talk about it. Maybe I got some questions for you. But we're almost 20,000 likes in, guys. We got people jumping in and out. We're going until my phone dies, and that could be here in the next 10, 15 minutes. It could be in the next 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see. My phone it's cooked. It's getting cooked. But if we get to 20,000, I guess I'll tell LP story. Because I guess we got 3 for LP. A UFO or orbit, not sure which, but it saved me and my family out of the place next to the Grand Canyon. Dang. But man, that's what I see. I have this crazy, like I said, these are my hot takes, my scolding hot takes. I have a hard time believing about aliens, and I have a hard time thinking about space. I don't know if they're real, to be honest with y'all. I don't know. Those are my hot takes, I guess. God, my gambling over here is tanking. I'm not doing well. My over-unders just not hitting. JJ, I hope you have a good night. Yeah, shoot me your stories later on, or whenever you get a chance. I'd love to hear them. You have a good night. But yeah, guys, we're still going, y'all. We get to 20,000 likes. We're gonna be telling some LP stories. TikTok is so weird about you have not been active. Yeah, I don't know if it is aliens either. Because aliens to me, if they come from outer space, makes no sense. Because we haven't been to the moon. Now they say, oh, well, there's alien. People say, oh, there's a dark side. Dang, my cat just jumped on me. All right, Oscar. His name is Oscar. He's got a little mustache. He's a black and white cat with a little baby mustache. Little cute guy. Short-legged guy. But, yeah, I know they're saying right now that they're in the oceans. If aliens are real, they're not. I don't think they're from outer space. I think that they are us from either the future or the past. Now, the past brings up a lot of thoughts. I know of star people or spirits. but they say they followed us to Mexico. Now, NATO's been seeing things in the sky for a long, long time. I know, like, the first ever documented here in America was the Utes. They saw them. They were seeing them, and they were telling the Spanish, hey, we're seeing these things. And the Spanish were like, nah, there's nothing like that. That's not. It's angels. They were what they were thinking they were, but no, they saw them. The Spaniards were like, what? The Utes were like, hey, what's that? And they were like, huh? Oh, what? Spaceship. Oh, it's crazy. So I'm saying, I don't know if it's us from the past or the future or what it is. Yeah, I've heard people talk about thinking that aliens are our ancestors. It might be. I'm open to that. I'm open to anything on aliens. It's fascinating. I mean, it's just truly fascinating to see, what and where, who, why, when, where, how. It's crazy. But it's crazy out there. Let's see here. All right, like I said, I appreciate y'all, joining me on this live. We get to 20,000 likes. Tell an LP story. We got 3 votes. It's the winner. Hey, as long as it gets a vote, that's all that matters. But like I said, guys, if you're just joining me, my name is Yahola Tiger. I am from Northeast Oklahoma. Born and raised on the Cherokee Nation Reservation in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Then moved out kind of on the border of the res with, butting up against Muskogee Creek res. Spent my whole life there. If you guys follow me or if you guys want to hear full content episodes, that's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm at 99 episodes, so episode 100 will be soon with Mr. Rod from Lodge Tales. We're going to be talking about everything under the moon when it comes to creepy. Man, I haven't heard the town welling in forever. But it's interesting out there. I'm over here looking at stuff, y'all. Sorry. We get to 20,000 likes. Tell an LP story if you want, or if you want to hear another one. But we're telling spooky, scary stories. Meme says I live in Wagner. Just bought land out in Holbert though. Holbert is speaking of Holbert, I got a Holbert story for you. My dad saw kind of flame. Cherokees we call it flame or jack-o'-lantern. And, we see that out there, out in Holbert. It's out there. He was out there, I think, a little bit outside of Holbert, almost kind of, I think it's Norwood area. Brittany Field says, first time seeing you I'm from Sand Springs. Shout out Sand Springs. I haven't heard nothing out there, any scary stuff out there. So, Brittany, if you got anything, let me know. Indio Rodriguez says, yee. But if you guys are joining for the first time, my name is Yahola Tiger, born and raised Tahlequah, Oklahoma, Cherokee Reservation. Currently reside in the Tulsa area, and I tell spooky stories. If you got a place, man, yeah, Holbert, yeah, but just getting back on Holbert. Speed Trap University, or USA University too, I guess. University makes no sense, but Wagner, I don't really hear much about Wagner. I told a ghost car story out of Wagner when we were leaving out there by Gibson Station, out there kind of outside, in between Wagner and OK. Patty says, I live in Oklahoma City, see crazy. My auntie is a dear woman. That's crazy. Dang, don't be putting that evil on her like that. Don't be doing her like that. That's crazy. Gibson Hills, Gibson Station, I think is one of them. Gibson Station is out there in between. But one night we was coming home from Blake Shelton, and I was sitting in the passenger seat, and I think it was around Halloween time. I was telling stories, and they was getting all scared, and all of a sudden, and I swear to you, out of nowhere, I remember looking in the rear view, like I'm not like not sure who was behind us, but all you could see in the rear view was like the lights. Like they were so close on our bumper, all you could see was like the reflection of the lights hitting the back of the car. And I mean, it had to be within inches. And we get to this corner right at Gibson Station where there's a cemetery on the left-hand side, like we're headed to OK. And all of a sudden, that car comes to a complete stop, right off our bumper, complete stop, and turns, and the lights just go out. And we looked, and there was nothing. Like literally, I told her to slow down as we were hitting that corner, and I'm looking, and there's no lights. There's nothing out there. And I want to say that there are crosses out there where people have had wrecks. So maybe it might have been one of those. Maybe, reliving the car wreck. But that's Highway 16 out on Wagner. My aunt and cousin swear they seen a ghost train in Wagner. Dang, that's crazy. She has me calling all her old snags uncle. Nah, that's insane. That's crazy. What's crazy too, train tracks. I've heard people see out in Red Rock, kind of north of Tulsa. I guess you could say. I'm trying to put it in an area. I know people say, "Oh, you're not giving it accurate." But out in Red Rock, people say they see gargoyle out there on the railroad tracks. Skindon, thank you once again. Oh, all right, Trent. We're at 20K. You caught me. I was trying to skis on y'all real quick. No, I'm just kidding. So, LP story. Do I want to tell an old one, or do I want to tell one that maybe I haven't told? Let's tell one I don't think I haven't told very much. Yeah, Oto's out that way, Red Rock. So, I'll tell you my LP story. I don't tell it very often. I'll tell you my LP story. I don't tell it very often. I've told it one. So when I don't think I might have been in like second or third grade, maybe fourth grade. We had this kind of event where we went to the convention center in Tahlequah. I went to Woodall Elementary, out in kind of Woodall, outside of Tahlequah, and kind of Indian, mostly Indian elementary. And we go to the convention center. We have this thing, and we're coming back, and they decide to stop at Merle Home Park. Kind of getting dark. It's probably 4. Kind of getting darker outside. It's kind of winter time. Time hasn't quite changed yet, and so we're playing, we're eating, and we're all having a good time. All the kids are playing, and when you have a bunch of Indian kids, we don't listen to no teachers. We ain't doing that. So we go out into this trail out at Merle Home Park, and we start playing hide and go seek and tag, and we're playing tag, and I end up getting it on being tagged. So I'm running around trying to find somebody. I'm trying to trying to find anybody to get so I'm not the last one, because they're about to call it. Teachers were starting to holler for people. I see a shadow up. As you kind of get in there, it gets more deeper into the woods. It gets a little bit more darker. And I get up to the top, and I'm seeing somebody. Look like they're kind of poking their head around, like they're looking to see if I'm coming, towards them. And so I'm like, I got him. I'm going to get him. So I take off, and I'm running. I'm running fast. I'm going downhill. I'm running. All of a sudden, I reach out to grab this person. and I just miss. And there's a part of Merle Trail that had a little awning. So basically, it was kind of like a little bench. It had an awning on it, and there's all these different people, writing their names. Oh, so and so loves me or whatever on it, and we get to that, and I'm just about to grab them, and I miss them. And it's getting, darker. I'm having a more hard time to see, but it looked like somebody, it looked like a person, little kid. And I'm, so I'm second or third grade. I'm probably 3 foot tall, 3 foot 2 inches. So this person's, a little bit smaller than me. So I almost get him again, and I can't get him. And all of a sudden, I start looking around, and I'm like, where am I at? I'm not on the trails anymore. I had chased this person off the trails into the deeper part of the woods. And I remember in my head, my grandpa was saying, you don't go out in these woods at night. You don't go out on these trails at night. Because there are things out here that will lure you off. And so I decided to I kind of snapped out of it because I was gonna keep going. I had to get this person, and that's what LP does. Is they mess with your mind to make you go further out. And so I'll end up going right back to the trail or trying to make my way. I knew those woods pretty decent because I was always out there. And so we kept going. And when I got to the bridge, it's like I stepped out and it was darker outside. It was like the sun was starting to go away. Like missing time. And I remember when I came out on the bridge, my teacher was like, oh my gosh, we almost came out there and started looking. They was getting scared. They got kind of worried. And so I went back, but it's crazy. They are tricksters. Skinner, thank you for the 16 roses. Jessica, hopefully that was good enough. That's a newer one. I don't really tell that one a lot. That's my own personal LP story. Haley says, hello from Sapulpa. How's it going? Dang, is it skipping? Dang, it's your bad Wi-Fi. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to mess your Wi-Fi up like that. Indio Rodriguez says, you're still 3'9". I'm actually 3'7". Come on now. Come on now, big dog. Indio Rodriguez, we the same height, so I don't know what you're talking about. Same height. We basically neck and neck. My neck's just a little bigger. But we still big backs together. Midnight Star says, like big snakes? Hey, yo, what? When I lived in Concho, my grandpa said not to go in the woods because bobcats would get us. Bobcats will get you too, though. All right, that's good. I'm all right. Sometimes I don't like. I do so many. Like I tell so many stories. And sometimes I forget that I tell the same people the same story, and so I have to catch myself sometimes. Because I don't go back and listen to my old live streams. I let them rock. I let the vibes carry us. I let them guide us into the future past. Don't make me start talking about bringing cigarettes back. I will start an ad for Big Tobacco. 15 people, yeah, that's pretty good, man. I haven't ever done a night. I am kind of getting a little spooked out. I hear something in the kitchen. I have the kitchen light on. Yeah, I had a whole bit about cigarettes. I think we should bring them back. I think vapes is killing us. How y'all gonna huff metal? It's crazy. My mom, Thundercat says, my mom told me my grandpa got chased by an LP when he was a kid. I'm not surprised. Man, they're pretty devious. The most devious. Excuse me. Here in the Appalachian Mountains, you don't whistle at night. I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. NDN, Red Rock, when I lived out there, I used to go fishing all by myself as a teenager. Yeah, hey, more power to you. You must have got nerves of steel. You was probably in Vietnam, huh? You seen some things out that way. Big Z said, "Did you watch any high school football tonight?" No, I did not. I'm not really a high school football guy. I got my fill of it. My uncle, who used to be, he's very prominent in the high school football here in Oklahoma. He usually tells me what goes on before it happens. I should ask him, "Hey, what's going on with Jinx, or what's going on with Broken Arrow?" He'll say, just tell me whatever. But I'll tell you this: if you're an high school Oklahoma fan, or if you're an Oklahoma football fan, Oklahoma passed on old Kiwan's son on purpose. And you didn't hear that. You heard that from me. But I'm not going to reveal my sources. But that's what I heard. For all you Oklahoma high school football fans. I know I saw a lot of people complain, "Oh, why don't we have Kiwan?" Let's see here. If you were to whistle at night, you ignore it. Or if you hear a whistle at night, you ignore it and don't go where it came from. Yeah, I wouldn't. Especially if something's whistling at you. Absolutely not. Are you related to Sonny Tiger, Old Medicine Man down by Conowall? No, I'm Muskogee Creek. And Cherokee. Well, I guess I am Cheyenne Arapaho, but very small quantities of that. Not enough to be on the card, y'all. Because Lil Jon ain't no good. Dang. Yeah, I'm just reading. Yeah, I'm not related to Sonny Tiger. Oh, well, I mean, maybe then. Maybe. I got so many dang family members, it's ridiculous out that way. Could be. If he's Creek, I'm related somehow. I'm in Wyoming. They got some crazy stories here. Yeah. Man, that's one thing that Western tribes, it's like y'all are still, this is one thing I always equate. When Europeans came here, they got us. They got Cherokee Creek, Seminole. They got all us. They figured out on us, like, brute strength against Native Americans just ain't gonna work. We are tricked because we don't know the language. We didn't know the language. So when they got out west, they already had figured out by sending out people, because they had already been here multiple years. They already had the plan for that, the Western tribes. And, they fought back hard, man. I got a lot of respect. I'm not saying, my tribes did. My tribes did. I have a relative who fought for the Creek Confederacy, when they came together and tried to, get them out of here. At I guess it's Gooseneck Bend. I can't remember exactly. Some of my history that I read and forget. If someone's calling my name out in the darkness, I am not answering. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Some of the creepiest things. I'll tell you one thing that really scares me. I'll tell you all this. When I don't know what's there. And one of my memes said my 4 times great grandfather survived Sand Creek Massacre. Dang, respect. But one thing that really scared me as a kid, and this is a story that was told to me by our neighbor, and he used to mess with us a lot. He's a menace, man, little Mexican guy. But he just would always mess with us, just be the most annoying guy. But he would come at night and knock on our windows, and he'd wave at us at night and just do creepy things like that. But one night, one day we was out there talking and, messing around, being, little, trailer park kids. And he goes, "Yeah, I tried to scare y'all last night." And I'm like, "What?" I'm getting ready to beat him down. I said, "What? You was trying to scare us?" He said, "Yeah, I was trying to scare y'all last night. I was going to come mess with y'all's window." And he said, when I was walking up the road, I looked up on top of y'all's trailer, and there was a man standing there on top of y'all's trailer. I was like, what? And I looked at him, I said, stop messing. You're always doing that. And he's like, no, man, I saw a black shadow of a man standing on top of y'all's trailer. And, growing up, we had medicine, bad medicine tried to be put on us because my grandmother, and he would, the guy that was do these things, sometimes he'd walk on top of our trailer, and my dad'd go out there and he'd be gone. But he did those things to us growing up. I don't like to say his name because it's real well connected in Cherokee country. I don't want to ruffle no feathers, but that's what was happening. But real creepy. So that guy was always messing with stuff, and we had, he'd always be, messing with us, but it's crazy. Let's see here. I'll be trying to scare y'all. Juicy Juice. That is a Yo, I love that name. Juicy Juice. That's crazy. Our LP Lord. I love your name, Juicy Juice. Something about Juicy Juice is just crazy because it is juicy. Juice is juicy. Anyways, 100% juice over here. Nah, I'm honestly probably 20, 40, 40, I think is what I am. 20% luck, 40% skill. Oh, no, I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm just playing. But LP's larger than 1 foot. Sometimes, maybe. I'm not really sure. I don't think I've ever... besides my story that I seen, he looked a little bit taller than a foot, like a little bit to me. It looked like a normal, like a really young kid running in front of me. Yeah. I try not to do my stand-up routine. I guess I'm working on it in front of y'all right now. But yeah, it's about I don't know inches or feet or anything like that. I just kind of it's probably this tall, however much that is. Patty says about an owl. So I've had a few experiences. I had an owl out here probably a couple months ago, out here in the backyard, just right over here on the back fence, just sitting there. My dogs were going crazy. And I was like, man, what's going on out here? I'm thinking somebody was trying to steal something, Nope. It was an owl sitting on that dang back fence. I had to shoo it off. I had to go out there and shoo it off. Yeah, Teddy, I've been told that too. What's crazy too is when we would go out there ghost hunting at Morrow Home Park. One night we was out there and there was just cats out here. There's a lot of stray cats out there. There's normal cats. But one of the cats, we had our light, but our light only went to a certain distance because it wasn't a real good one. And right at the edge, when we started walking away, that shadow just that height of that cat just kept getting a little taller. I thought that was weird too. I was like, we need to get out of here. Any talking animal stories? I probably have some old ones. The talking animal stories are old. Those are some old medicine type stories. But owls, man, 30K do a SW. Let me see if I can think of a shapeshifter story. I told one about a white dog. I've told it on here on page, but I maybe got a few of them. I just told one earlier out in Wowoka. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we'll do. May have to save SWs. I call them shapeshifters, but try to be respectful to those Western tribes. I don't like saying that. But owls, yeah, they're messengers. I think they're messengers of death. My parents saw one that was like 4 foot tall in the middle of the road, and And right as they were moving up to it, it flew off, and we found out my my aunt passed. She was real. She loved my grandpa and my dad, and always asked about me and my brother. I never met her. I never met this lady. Never met my aunt. But she's always asking, how's them boys doing? And she really cared about us. But she passed away, and that owl was, in front of that. Yeah, I heard that they, medicine people like to use them a lot. Now it's creepy when they laugh. I've heard that's, that's when they start laughing, man. That gets creepy. My mom, we used to have medicine around us, and every now and then my mom would hear it. It's a certain kind of laugh. I don't like doing it. I'm not going to do it right now, but dang, she was mowing the yard, mowing the pasture, trying to keep it low, and all of a sudden over that loud mower she could hear it. It was like she said it was in her ear, like somebody was laughing in her ear. Scoden Traveler says, I heard LP live in caves. Have you heard of that? Yeah, I've heard of that. I heard they live in rocks. They can move boulders, real heavy boulders, and they can kind of go into their domicile. Meme said, I'm so glad I joined the live, found my people. Respect. Yeah, I got good people that come in here and chat it up. We always real respectful. Every now and then I have jokers and people with a little bit of an ego thinking that they can, bend things to their will, but you're talking to the wheel breaker over here. I don't deal with none of that crap. The breaker of wills. What is it? What's it? The breaker, or what is it? Game of Thrones, breaker of chains. Daenerys Targaryen, the breaker of chains, the mother of dragons, the incest queen. Crazy. My mom had a bird. One time we were headed, where the casino is now in Tahlequah, like you're coming into town. Casino's on the right, but we was turning. Dang, a bird flew right into the dang thing and flogged my mom. It's like, oh, that's bad news. Juicy Juice says, just saying that. Alice can bring good news Tuesday. I've heard that too. Chilling, I swear, same owl flew over us like 3 times, like a month later. In Georgia, my friend passed at 5 a.m. Owl landed right in front of me. Yeah, they do that. What's up, Raggedy? That's the homie Raggedy. Raggedy always be in here. Don't be thinking I'm talking bad about him either. I ain't talking bad about Raggedy. It's just a raggedy MFer. It's my fault. That's what I like to say. My fault. Someone tried to curse my friend with Mexican witchcraft and put a dead bird and water on their porch. Gah! Dang, she must have did that person dirty. Poor girl got sick and almost passed out. Gah! I saw a video floating around of Angelina Jolie and Penelope Cruz. Not Penelope Cruz? No, that ain't it. That ain't her. Who is that lady? They was going to a bruja, and was it Veracruz, I think. Twice on Astral Projecting, I met Geronimo. Dang. Oh, dang, Trent. I thought she said she passed out. Nah, she died. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make a joke out of that. Dang, my bad. God. Dang, I thought you said passed out. I said, dang, she just saw that stuff and passed out. No, she died. God, my bad. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to make a joke out of that. I just saw your second part of that. Thundercat says, do you know any ghost hunters? A house next to my mom near Carnegie has spirits or demons in it. Spooky Okie, paranormal. She's all over the place. She may, if you get a hold of her on TikTok, she might be able to help you out. That's who I like. She does good stuff. She can, I don't know if she can get rid of it. She might be able to, but she'll help you. She'll definitely look at it. My mom once told me once that they heard someone walking up the driveway, and there was an owl when it reached the light. Ah, Teddy, where was that at? Dang. I seen a gargoyle here in the city on top of a church. Dang, was it stone? Mississippi. Oh, man. That's crazy. Did any of y'all, what did y'all think of Sinners? Did y'all think of Sinners was pretty good? Out of Mississippi. Y'all, my phone is at 9%. We're going to go till it dies. If you just see me cut off, it ain't because LP got me. It's because I'm out of here. Yeah, Sinners was probably, it's top 2 for me. Sinners, 28 years later was number 1. Sinners was number 2. Sinners was so good. There's so much, man. That Mississippi Choctaw scene, man, is going to live in my life forever. Great. Great movie. Yeah, I wish they had more scenes like that. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, they should do a Mississippi Choctaw movie." Come on now. They do not want to glorify natives at all. I'm telling y'all, they will never do that. You know, Res Dogs, he had to kind of church it up, make it kind of a campy type of way. And Sterling Harjo is a good guy. You know, but the studio wants it a certain way. In FX specifically, but he's got a show coming out here in September, and I cannot remember. It's based out of Tulsa, here, Oklahoma. but yeah, no, he's Sterling Harjo, man, that's the dude right there. Osage County was good. What is that on? My brother lives where they filmed around Thibodaux at an old slave plantation. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Not the slave plantation, but just like being around the filming. Yeah, Sterling is a good guy. Everyone that's met him and talked to him they say he's stand-up dude. So, you know, I haven't really ran into him very much. I just know people that know him, and they always say that he's a good dude. He's doing good, man, for Native people. Res Dogs, man, that was my child. That was a lot of my childhood. Just doing ignorant stuff, man. You know, we had like them going to the corner store. Dang, that was me and my brother riding up in our little bikes at the corner store, stealing candy, man. Dang, we was trying to nickel and dime those guys over slushies. Trent Davis is trying to get to 30K so we can hear an SW story, shapeshifter story. I gotta think of one while I'm talking. Let me see how long. Got a little bit of time. Hopefully enough time to get this Skinwalker shapeshifter story. But, yeah, I'm sitting here watching football, y'all, to lighten the mood because I'll be getting spooked out, too. I'll be in this thing quick. Be like, all right, y'all, see y'all. Dip out. I'm trying to think of some other Indian movies. Have y'all seen Blood Quantum is a zombie movie, native zombie movie. All the white people become zombies. Only people left is natives. Man, I'll say this, too. I haven't went live, but rest in peace to Graham Greene, man. That made me sad. I ain't gonna lie, I got a little emotional watching some of his old clips. Man, I was sad about that. God. You know. Graham Greene, it was in Last of Us. There was so much stuff he was in. Longmire, man, great. All his old stuff. Man, great actor. He along with Wes Studi, to me, are up there. Native actors, probably top 3 for sure. What's his name is number 3 to me. McLaurin. McLaurin is number 3. I can't remember his first name. Big from Res Dogs. Miko, that's Sterling. That's other. Yeah, I need to watch that. I hadn't seen that. Yeah, Uncle Graham, man, rest in peace. Yeah, Gary Farmer's up there too, man. That guy, Uncle Brownie, is hilarious. He's just funny, man. That's one thing. I think that's one thing that if you don't understand native humor, man, we're a little mean. We're a little mean, but we're a little downtrodden. Like we could be talking about some bad, like, dang, my cousin just died, and he was fat, but he just wasn't living right. Just really be ragging on him. Dude just died. That's how we be talking about each other. Be roasting each other. Be like, yeah, dang, I was down there it's like, I was down there I was playing basketball, man. Young guy came up, talking mess. Damn, blew my ankle out. Just got good humor like that. Telling good stories. Just roasting on each other. Boy, but you get mad enough, you fight too. I had one time both of my buddies, we about got into a dang bar fight like last year. Dang, out in Tulsa, man. We ignorant. My buddy was like, "Nah, man, we're cool," and I'm like, just start getting on each other. I know my wife was like, "Ah, man, you get around your buddies, you be acting ignorant." I said, sorry. I know. My wife. I always be laughing at my wife. She's like, I'll be telling her stories, and I have to omit some parts because sometimes it's be a little too rugged, man. Got to lie a little bit. She's like, just tell the truth. I'm like, I can't. Those secrets are going to die with me. We're going to the grave. It's like, nah, I don't know about all the stink now. I would never be the stink. Greasy like that. Not sure, no. I never dip my toes in the grease. Greasy, greasy fried bread. The greasiest of fried breads, if you know what I mean. Make yourself stink. Shoot. Making that bed I ain't cleaned out in 2 years stink. Them bed sheets ain't been changed in 2 years. Smelling like everybody in that thing. But you didn't hear that from me now. I don't know. See, that's maybe I'm talking about one of y'all. Somebody said that in the chat. You have to find them. Yeah, I know I'm talking about some of y'all. I know some of y'all wasn't changing them. Y'all wasn't changing them sheets. Out here smelling like, it smelled like old bologna grease. You know when you're frying that bologna and that little grease at the bottom where it's a little mucky, that's a little ripe, but it's still good. Be having bologna. I'll tell you what, I miss those days, man. Cynthia said, I just saw part 2 of Tunnels in Tulsa. Where's the first one? My daughter went to college at TU. It is on my page, and I believe it's under my pinned. It'll be under my pinned. It's called The Pastor with Two Sides. Two-sided pastor. It's on my pinned. Golly, I know. Sometimes you just smell it, and you're like, ugh. Just bologna grease everywhere. Bologna's just flat hot dogs. Hey. Chill out now. That's a delicacy. I told my wife, I started laughing. I was trying to make bologna sandwiches for my girls because sometimes my girls they're growing up too nice. So I had to bring them down a notch. So I made them bologna sandwiches and cut up the bologna just right for them. And they both looked at me like, Dad, this is like, they're 2 and 3 years old, and they kind of looked at me like, nah, this ain't it. So dang, I ate a whole pound of bologna. I fried up a whole pound of bologna and ate it. I felt disgusting afterwards. Patty says Stinjati is Muskogee Creek. Yep, I've interacted with Stinjati. He sent me a story actually. long time ago. He's a good guy. I saw him perform at over there in downtown. I can't think of the name. Mercury Lounge, I think it was. One of those places. 30K. All right. Cynthia says, just saw a few minutes of the second. Are those facts? Or those just happened? Or no, this is a story. It's a legitimate story a guy told me. There's no rumors about it. That guy told me that story. Now it's up to the person who watches it to believe it. It's scary. It's a scary story. It's one of the scariest stories that I've heard and I've got from somebody. I mean, I could tell you where it's at, and you'd probably be like, "Dang, all right, that might be real." But I can't. I don't want to reveal that because I have people who literally would tell me, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go find it." I'm like, "Please don't," because I don't know. What's crazy about those tunnels is he went, and this is some backstory on what the story I just posted. Backstory on that. He went later in life and took his engagement photos around all those symbols, symbols and sigils. He said that it looked like you could see where the podium used to stand, like they was holding church in there or something. I was like, I saw the pictures, so I know the tunnel is real. He showed me pictures of the sigils, and it's some crazy, like I can't describe them. They're like, it looked like I ain't gonna lie, it looked like Yiddish, but it's not Yiddish. But it looked like those symbols, or like different weird kind of etchings that I couldn't understand. Meme said a whole pound of bologna is some native shit. It's the most native shit ever. I know, man. I was a little disgraced. I ain't gonna lie, eating that pound of bologna like that. Bologna, lettuce, and tomato is a poor man's BLT. Technically, if we're going to be honest about it, it's the only BLT. Brandon Sharp, the spooky story, seen a huge owl near Spalding, Holdenville tonight. Dang. All right, y'all. It's 30K. Y'all said y'all wanted a skinwalker story. Well, I got one for you. Well, hold on a second. I've been cutting up too much. Let me think about it for a minute. So, all right, I got one for y'all. I might have told this one before. I can't remember, but if I have, I'll give you another one. So, my uncles have seen, okay. Growing up, where my grandpa lived out in Park Hill, there was a guy who knew things. He's a medicine guy. My grandpa always said, do not go over to this guy's house, for multiple reasons. When he, as my uncles were kids, they would play in some neighbors' backyards. And one day, they were out in the backyard playing near this guy's house. And all of a sudden, it was like the sun disappeared. Like the sun, like they were all outside and the sun was shining down. All of a sudden, they kind of saw something fly over them. And so they all looked up, and there was a man, half owl or half bird, basically with man legs, but with an upper body that was an owl or a bird. They couldn't really tell, but it was bird-like, flying above them. And he said, my uncles, they said they ran home and told my grandpa. That's a short one for you, if I haven't told that one before. But that was out in Park Hill back in like the 80s. If I've told that one, y'all let me know. Cynthia asked me if I'm from Arkansas. Absolutely not. I would never be from Arkansas. I'm sorry. I'm from Oklahoma, northeast Oklahoma, Tulsa area. No disrespect to Arkansas. But I have a podcast, Warcry Podcast, available YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed this entire live stream, my plan, hopefully, I will be able to put them on YouTube. I got to clear up some data or some storage on my phone. My phone is cooked. I had my 2 times great grandpa got a ride home from someone who had hooves, and they tried to lure him. Gah. Oof. Skinner says the best native podcast in Indian country. Well, I appreciate it. Salute. Yeah, I try. I try to be as honest as I can. Especially, I catch a lot of not native podcasters, but I'm talking about spooky podcast. I catch them on AI Overview sometimes. But let's see how much. I said I'm going till my phone's about to die. I call it. Let's call it, guys. It's 1 a.m. We've been going forever. Starless says I'm from Purcell. There's a helicopter flying over my place looking for a guy who just dang. Had to check the news on that one. But guys, you guys may see me tomorrow night. We'll see. But hit that like button. And if you want to join my fan club, it should be somewhere like right there, wherever it's at right there. Do that for me, please. I appreciate it. Anything helps my podcast out. My name is Yahola Tiger, member of the Cherokee Nation. Also Muskogee Creek. Grew up Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Grew up on the Cherokee Res my entire life. I'm just a regular dude. I tell stories and I do my stand-up routine on here. But if you want more content, if you want to be scared tonight, go hit my page, go over to YouTube, and you'll have every single story that I've ever told. Now, on here I tell new ones, but go over there, listen to all those stories. I have guests from Blackfeet Reservation, Wind River Reservation, First Nations up in Canada. I have a lot of people. I have paranormal groups from Oklahoma. I have people from Oklahoma. Lucky Star Bigfoot. So much content. Hundreds of hours. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Warcry Podcast. Guys, appreciate you. And I'll catch you guys. Yeah, maybe on the next one. Yeah.